In Part 2 of Lecture 7, we will discuss building the Slr One Parse Table. If we are to know when to reduce, we will need to know the follow sets for each non-terminal. These tokens will appear after the strings derived from the non-terminals, but not in these strings themselves. So they tell us when we have everything that we need to reduce the right sentential form, whatever we have on the right side of a production, to the non-terminal on the left side of the production. The first sets are fairly easy to figure out. From factor derives identifier and factor derives open parenthesis expression close parenthesis, we see that the first set for factor contains identifier and open parenthesis. From term derives factor, we know that the first set of term includes the first set of factor and thus also contains identifier and open parenthesis. From expression derives term, we see that the first set of expression contains the first set of term, which is identifier and open parenthesis. We have omitted the left recursive productions because in this case they don't add anything useful as we try to find the first sets. Finding the follow sets is also fairly straightforward. E is on the right-hand side of three productions. S derives E dollar, E derives E plus T, and F derives parenthesis E close parenthesis. So its follow set includes the plus sign, the end of file marker, and the close parenthesis. Term appears on the right-hand side of the productions. E derives E plus T, E derives T, and T derives T times F. Being at the end of the production, it will include the follow of E as well as the asterisk. This is also the case for factor. The non-final items all have the action shift, and we can follow the arrows to find to which state they go. All we have for the non-terminals are the go-tos, as we did in the Slr Parse Table. The final items lead to reduce actions using the appropriate production numbers, but this will be carried out for the look-ahead tokens appearing in the non-terminals follow set. Although the state machine doesn't look too different, the only discernible difference is that there are states with both final and non-final items. The parse table is obviously different. We have combined the actions together with the go-tos for the terminals. Where you see the reduce actions, these followed by the number of the production by which we are reducing. But where you see the shifts, it is also followed by a number, but the number is the number of the state to which we are jumping. It's easy to see where we get the look-aheads, the tokens, that indicate the various shifts. But the terminal on which we reduced by a particular production are all in the follow set for the non-terminal on the left side of the production. State 0 has 7 items, all of which are non-final. A look-ahead of identifier means that the action is shift and go to state 4. The open parenthesis means shift and go to state 6. The go-tos for the non-terminals are exactly as they were in the Slr Parse Table. Like state 0, state 1 has only non-final items. On plus, we shift and go to state 7. But rather than simply shifting and going to state 12, the acceptance state, we will accept on the end of file marker. This saves us from the seemingly unnecessary trip to state 12 simply to accept there. State 2 has a final item. E derives T dot. We know that the follow set of expression contains plus, close parenthesis, and end of file marker. So for these three look-aheads, the action is reduced by production 3. There is also a non-final item. T derives T dot times F. So for asterisk, the action is shift and go to state 9. State 3 has only one item, a final item. T derives F dot. Follow of T contains plus, times, close parenthesis, and end of file marker. So for these 4 look-aheads, the action is reduced by production 5. The only item in state 4 is F derives ID dot, another final item. The follow of F is the same as the follow of T. So on plus, times, close parenthesis, and dollar, the action is reduced by production 6. State 5 has 2 non-final items. So in both cases, the action involved is a shift. F derives open parenthesis E dot close parenthesis means that on close parenthesis we will shift and go to state 11. State 6 has 7 items in it, all non-final. On E we will go to state 5. On T we will go to state 2. And on F we will go to state 3. There are only 2 transitions on terminals. On ID, we shift and go to state 4. On open parenthesis, we shift and we go to state 6. State 7 has 5 items in it, all non-final. On term, we go to state 8, and on factor, we go to state 3. There are only 2 transitions on term. On identifier, we shift and go to state 4. And on open parenthesis, we shift and go to state 6. These are the same 2 as in state 6. State 8 has 1 final item. E derives E plus T dot. The follow set of E contains plus, close parenthesis, and end of file marker. So on these 3 look-aheads, we reduce by production 2. The other item is non-final. T derives T dot times F. So, on the asterisk, we shift and go to state 9. State 9 has 3 non-final items. With factor derives dot identifier, we shift and go to state 2 on identifier. With F derives dot open parenthesis, expression close parenthesis, we shift and go to state 6 on open parenthesis. And with term derives term times dot factor, we go to state 10 on factor. The only item in state 10 is a final item. T derives T times F dot. So the action on all 4 terminals in the follow set of T, which are plus, times, close parenthesis, and end of file marker, the action is reduced by production 4. State 11 has only 1 item, a final item. F derives open paren E, close paren dot. The follow set of factor includes plus, times, close parenthesis, and end of file marker. So for all 4 of these look-aheads, the action is reduced by production 7. We now have derived a parse table for our grammar as an SLR1 grammar.